The Moonlight Greatsword is an iconic weapon in the Souls franchise and has appeared in every From Software game since Demon's Souls except Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Elden Ring is no different and features a lengthy questline to obtain this iteration of the Moonlight Greatsword, albeit renamed to the Dark Moon Greatsword. Along the way, you will visit many different locations and also unlock the ability to see an alternate ending when you finish Elden Ring. In this guide, I will break down where you need to go and what you need to do. But first, please consider subscribing for more great Souls franchise videos and checking out my Twitch channel. I'll add a link in the description below. Let's get started. This questline requires you to be at least past Raya Lucaria, but I recommend being relatively deep into the late game. The first step to obtaining the Dark Moon Greatsword is to meet Ranni the Witch. So travel to the grace point in Caria Manor called Royal Moongazing Ground. You did clear out the boss here and grab the grace point, right? From here, head out north to the area called Three Sisters. You will see 3 towers in the distance. We want to go to Ranni's Rise, which is the middle tower. Head to the top of the tower and speak with Ranni several times until you have exhausted all her dialogue. You may be tempted to run off and do the next part of the quest after, but Ranni really wants you to meet her companions and doesn't allow you to leave. Talk to the friends, then head back up to Ranni. Now you want to go to Nokron, the Eternal City. If you are anything like me, you missed a ton of grace points while you were here, so these directions start from the Mimic Tier grace point. Warp to the Mimic Tier grace point and travel northeast across the bridge and turn left. Continue until you see the enemy singer. Behind this enemy is a grace point. If you already found this grace point, you can simply warp here. Do some parkour through this area until you see a dome. Jump onto the dome and across. In general, there is only one way through this area, so just keep moving forward. Eventually, you will come across a chest with a Finger Slayer blade in it. This is what Ranni sent us here for. Warp back to Ranni's Rise and talk to Ranni once again. She will give you a key item which is needed to progress the quest in exchange for the blade. If you have been to the Carrion Study Hall before this quest, you might suspect what this item is now used for. Warp to the Carrion Study Grace Point and place the item on the table. Lo and behold, the place is now upside down and this useless area now has a purpose. You do still have to fight the wizard in here from before, even if you already beat him once, so make your way through the upside down tower and dispatch him now. Once you leave the tower and make it to the bridge outside, you will find a grace point. You now need to fight one half of our favorite duo. At this point, you should have fought him at least twice, right? So take care of the more portly of the Godskin duo and carry on. Congrats, you now have the Godskin Noble armor set. Finish crossing the bridge and head up the tower. At the top, you will find the actual body of Ranni with the curse mark of death and the Stargazer heirloom. Once again, we now want to head back to Ranni's Rise. Uh-oh, Ranni isn't here anymore though. Good thing she left us a grace point, I guess. Instead, let's head north to Renna's Rise. Climb the tower and take the teleporter at the top. Directly ahead of you, you will see an important item to pick up. Go sit at the nearby grace point and you will now have a new option to talk to the Ranni doll. At first, nothing will happen, but if you persist, eventually Ranni will speak to you. She isn't happy for some reason and gives you a new task. Move forward through the next area, either running or fighting. You will find a river which you want to follow down through a tunnel until you reach the entrance to Noxtella, the Eternal City. Once again, run or fight your way through the area until you find an elevator going down. At the bottom is a grace point. You can talk to the Ranni doll again for some lore if that's your thing. Follow the river through another tunnel until you reach the enemy Ranni has tasked you with killing. Dispatch the enemy and Ranni will appear and leave you the discarded palace key. Continue forward now until you find another elevator going down. Congratulations, you are now in the worst part of the whole game, the Lake of Rot. Like a poison swamp, but with scarlet rot instead of poison. Don't roll or it gets on your armor. Grab the Site of Grace you see in front of you. Now that we have the discarded palace key, I recommend warping back to the Raya Lucaria Academy, but this step can be done later too. Warp to the Raya Lucaria Grand Library. There's a chest next to the Grace that you probably tried opening after defeating Rennala but couldn't. Guess what the key opens? Grab the Dark Moon Ring from the chest and head back to the Lake of Rot. At this point, I recommend crafting a bunch of preserving boluses. Now we venture into the lake. Head generally southwest. There is a Dragonkin soldier you can fight here if you want the Dragon Scale blade, but fighting in the rot kind of sucks. Eventually you will find an archway flanked by torches, which is where we need to go. Head down the stairs towards the Site of Grace. Now head forward to the broken ledges and be careful to drop down without dying. Once again, run through or fight the enemies. There is a chest up the stairs in the building containing the Scorpion Dagger if you want it. What we are looking for is a coffin to crawl into though. Climb into the coffin and prepare for a boss fight. Astel, Natural Born of the Void, is one of my favorite bosses so far in Elden Ring. Visually, the enemy is stunning, but don't stand around too long admiring him. He is in between us and our Moonlight Greatsword. Take care of Astel and continue forward to an elevator up to the Moonlight Altar. Congrats, we are almost there. The Glintstone Dragon Adula is guarding the altar, but at this point I imagine you have defeated about 50 dragons, so this shouldn't be an issue. After taking care of the dragon, head into the Cathedral of Manus Cells. Cells? Whatever. There will be a giant hole in the ground to the right. Go down it and be greeted with Ranni sitting in front of the bloody fingers she slew. Talk to her to trigger a cutscene and enjoy your new Dark Moon Greatsword. I just hope you are smart enough to use it, because I wasn't.